Today I have a video for you on LANDx. But some of you might say, hey, Caesar, didn't you already do LANDx? And you can see I did cover LANDx already, and I will reference this video in the video that I'm making right now that you're watching, because this explains how LANDx works. However, there is a white paper out by LANDx that talks about xUSD, which is the stablecoin backed by real-world yield assets. So they have a stablecoin that's backed by the system that LANDx is producing. Now, none of this stuff is live quite yet, as far as I can tell, and I'm not invested in this, but I'm seriously considering it because I think this is a bridge. Like, this might not be the protocol that makes the big difference, but this idea, in my opinion, of connecting real-world things to the blockchain technology is, in my opinion, a powerful concept. So I have a flowchart for you that's going to explain how this stablecoin works. So let's go over there and check it out. If you would like to support the channel, I would suggest you to check out the secretsandwich.xyz. It's the Secret Sandwich NFT project. You can come here, you can mint an NFT, or you can come and check out your NFTs. Okay, so let's get back to it. We have dollar bill and we have LANDx here in the middle. Now, dollar bill's a farmer. Oh, we'll call him Farmer Bill, I guess. Dollar bill's cousin, right? So dollar bill here has some assets. They're called X tokens. So let's say he's a corn farmer, right? And he has a whole bunch of X corn from LANDx, and he needs some dollars now. He needs some stable coins now to do something immediately. So what he can do is he can sell some of his corn to get some wheat, so this is rice, some wheat, and some soybean X tokens, and then he can make a basket of 25% of each of them, stick them into LANDx, and get out xUSD. So this xUSD is backed by the commodity basket of these 4 tokens, right? Now, alternatively, he could just get X basket, which is these 4 tokens as a index of 25% each. So he could just get that instead, of course, if he already had that, and he could use that to mint up some xUSD. Now, what can he do with this xUSD? The first thing he could do is he could just swap it on Curve, assuming that there's a Curve pool live or Uniswap or whatever, get some USDC, and then use that USDC to do whatever that farmer needs to do, right? Now, along comes the investor, dollar bill. Dollar bill has some USDC, and he wants to invest. He wants to make money off of this system, right? So he can use some USDC to buy some of that xUSD off of Curve, right? And then he could stake that xUSD into the LANDx contracts. Now, how is this going to get yield, right? So the first way it's going to get yield is via the farmers, okay? So I did that video. I'll link to that video in the end of this video, so you can watch that video to find out how does this farmer make money and bring money into LANDx. But let's say he is bringing in some dollars because of his obligations, right? And the dollars he brings in raises the collateral value of the assets inside here. And then that collateral value is used to mint more xUSD and is given to the stakers, okay? So the only time there's yield here is when the farmers are bringing in yield. There's no inflation, there's no like token rewards, it's just actual yield from the farmers, actual crops, making a profit that is turning this xUSD into a yield-bearing token when it's staked. Now you have to also keep in mind that not all xUSD is going to be staked in this farm or in this contract here. Some of it's going to be sitting in this pool per se, and if they decide to incentivize this pool, then even more will be sitting in this pool, right? Now, moving on. Now, the contracts also allow for the backing of xUSD with stablecoins. So instead of going to Curve to buy it, he can actually deposit USDC into the LANDx contracts and use that to mint up to mint up this xUSD as well, okay? And what this now does is now the contract holds USDC, and farmer Bill can use his basket to, instead of selling the xUSD on Curve, he can redeem it on LANDx for some USDC that he has lent here. Now, it's controlled. It's not completely permissionless. It relies on the fact that the farmers are bringing in assets, and that farmers are needing to get this xUSD. So they have this formula, and they call it yield equals collateral value minus the xUSD supply minus the buffer divided by the time factor. Okay, so the buffer is basically how much how much space they want to have inside here, so that they don't want every single, it's dependent on the farmers who need the money in order for xUSD to be minted, or the farmers that are producing the yield. So this buffer is kind of like how much less xUSD can be in circulation, can be minted out versus the collateral, and then also the USDC that's put inside. Okay, so it's the buffer, and then the time factor is how fast this yield, because this yield will come in a chunk, right? And then it won't just immediately be turned into xUSD. It'll stream into the staking contract. So the time factor will slow it down or speed it up. Now, LANDx community, the DAO voting will adjust the buffer and the time factor, but obviously the collateral value and the xUSD supply are fixed. Well, not fixed, but they're not changeable. They're not votable, right? They're based on oracles, and obviously the supply is a number that's just static. Not static, but it's not something that you can't just change, right? You have to mint or burn in order to get it. So now, there is redeemability. Of course, you can go backwards. The investors can take their xUSD and they can redeem it back for USDC. So there's the burnability. There is a burnability. There is a redeemability in that sense. And then this is where you can get some arb as well. So the arbitrage to maintain the peg will be between the market pools, and then also the ability to mint on either side, and then trade with that pool. So that's pretty much it. That's my understanding based on reading that white paper. And as always, I suggest you, if you're interested in this, if this looks cool to you, I'd suggest you to go check out the community, go ask some questions, and read the white paper for yourself. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.